Chapter 1: Inside the Kitchen, Tools, Actions and Daily Cooking. Welcome to your kitchen, a place full of flavor, creativity, and daily routine. Whether you're a beginner in cooking or someone who enjoys preparing meals for your family, this chapter will give you the most essential English vocabulary and phrases you need to talk about kitchen life. Common kitchen tools and appliances. Let's start by learning the names of the most common kitchen tools and their uses. These are words you will hear and use almost every day. Frying pan, to fry eggs or sauté vegetables. Saucepan, to boil water or cook soup. Oven, to bake cakes, cookies, or roast chicken. Microwave, to heat food quickly. Blender, to make smoothies or sauces. Toaster, to toast slices of bread. Kettle, to boil water for tea or coffee. Cutting board, to chop vegetables or slice meat. Knife, to cut anything, from onions to steak. Peeler, to peel potatoes or carrots. Measuring cups and spoons, to measure ingredients for recipes. Mixing bowl, to mix ingredients for baking or cooking. Language tip. I use the, to. When talking about tools. I use the oven to bake bread. I use the blender to make smoothies. Verbs for cooking. Learning just nouns isn't enough. Let's look at the most useful verbs you need while talking about or doing cooking. Chop the onions into small pieces. Slice the tomatoes thinly. Fry the eggs with a little oil. Boil the pasta for 10 minutes. Grill the chicken until golden. Bake the cake at 180 degrees Celsius. Mix the ingredients well. Add a pinch of salt. Stir the soup slowly. Pour the milk into the bowl. Challenge phrase. Try using this. I usually chop vegetables while the rice is boiling. Talking about daily cooking at home. Now let's practice describing what you usually cook at home. Every morning, I make a simple breakfast with eggs, toast, and tea. On weekends, I cook something special like lasagna or grilled fish. I don't follow recipes strictly. I cook with what I have in the fridge. You can also talk about who cooks in your family. My mom does most of the cooking. My dad is a great chef, especially on weekends. I love cooking dinner with my sister. Cultural insight. In some cultures, cooking is a shared activity. In others, it's the responsibility of just one person. Let's compare. In many Asian families, cooking is a daily responsibility and meals are shared. In some Western countries, people cook in large batches, meal prep, for the whole week. In Mediterranean culture, food is deeply social. Dinner is a time for conversation. Question to think about. Who usually cooks in your home? Is it a shared duty? Practice and shadowing. Listen to the phrases from this chapter and repeat them slowly. Shadow the sentences and record yourself. I'm chopping vegetables. Can you stir the sauce, please? We baked cookies last night. Chapter 2: Mealtime moments, family routines and table manners. Eating is more than just putting food in your mouth. It's about sharing time with family, enjoying flavors, following traditions, and even communicating in special ways. In this chapter, we're diving deep into the daily food routines people have at home, especially when they eat together. You'll learn useful vocabulary, realistic phrases, and explore how people talk, act, and even argue during mealtime. Breakfast, starting the day right. In many homes, breakfast is the first family interaction of the day. Some people prefer quiet mornings, others talk about their plans. Here's how you might describe your morning meal. We usually have a light breakfast with toast, butter, and tea. My father always reads the newspaper while drinking his coffee. I never eat much in the morning, just a banana or a glass of milk. OU can also describe the food. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes and cheese. A bowl of cereal with cold milk. A smoothie made from yogurt, banana, and honey. And your feelings. I love the smell of fresh toast in the morning. Breakfast gives me the energy I need for the day. Lunch and dinner, family time and chit-chat. For many families, lunch or dinner is the main shared meal of the day. It's when everyone gathers around the table and talks. We usually eat dinner together around 7 p.m. My mother prepares amazing stews and rice dishes. During dinner, we talk about our day, share stories, and laugh a lot. Useful expressions for talking about meals. Pass me the salt, please. This tastes amazing. Can I have a second helping? Please don't talk with your mouth full. Did you wash your hands before eating? These moments are full of interaction, so it's a perfect time to practice listening and speaking English, even if it's just in your head or with imaginary dialogue. Table manners at home. Every culture has different rules for how to behave at the table. In English-speaking countries, these are some common family rules. Don't start eating until everyone has been served. Keep your elbows off the table. Chew with your mouth closed. Say, "Excuse me," if you leave the table during a meal. Always say, "Thank you," when someone passes something to you or finishes cooking. Example. My grandmother always reminds us to sit up straight while eating. At our house, we're not allowed to use our phones at the table. You can use English to describe these manners. My family is very strict about table manners. We're allowed to talk, but we must be polite. Timing and eating habits. You can also talk about when and how often you eat. We usually have 3 meals a day. Sometimes we skip lunch if we're busy. On weekends, we have late breakfasts and light dinners. People in different parts of the world eat at different times. In Spain, dinner might be after 9 p.m. In the UK, dinner is often around 6 p.m. In some Asian families, lunch is the biggest meal. You can compare and contrast. In my family, lunch is more important than dinner. We usually snack in the afternoon. Conversations around the table. Let's not forget that mealtime is full of conversation. These can be joyful, serious, or even boring. Practice phrases like, "What did you do at work today? How was your exam? I saw something funny on the way home. Can we order pizza tonight instead of cooking?" Mealtime talk is a perfect way to practice real-life English. It's casual, natural, and helps build connection. Shadowing practice. Can you pass me the water, please? This tastes better than last time. Don't forget to say thank you to your mom for the food. Ending a meal politely. And when the meal is over, here's what people usually say. Thanks for the meal. That was delicious. I'll help wash the dishes. Let's clean up before dessert. These polite habits are part of everyday family life and should be part of your language learning too. Chapter 3: Grocery shopping and meal preparation at home. Food doesn't magically appear in the kitchen. It begins with a plan, a trip to the store, and thoughtful preparation. In this chapter, we're going to explore how to talk about shopping for groceries, choosing ingredients, and getting ready to cook a proper meal at home. Planning ahead. Before going to the store, most people prepare a shopping list. This helps save time, avoid buying unnecessary things, and stay within budget. Here are some ways to talk about it. I always write a shopping list before I go out. Let's check the fridge and pantry first. We're running out of eggs, flour, and olive oil. I need to restock on spices and canned goods. Common items people list. Vegetables, tomatoes, carrots, onions, cucumbers. Fruits, bananas, apples, oranges, grapes. Staples, rice, pasta, bread, oil, salt. Dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, butter. Proteins, chicken, fish, beef, tofu, lentils. Extras, snacks, chocolate, juice, coffee. At the supermarket. When you're actually inside the store, you'll hear or say things like, "Let's grab a basket, we won't need a cart." "Where's the dairy section? Is this on sale? Do we still have enough sugar at home?" I prefer buying fresh vegetables from the farmer's market. Useful vocabulary. Aisle, the pasta is in aisle 5. Checkout, let's go to the self-checkout. Cashier, the cashier was very friendly today. Receipt, keep the receipt in case we need to return something. Some people love shopping. Others don't. Either way, it's part of life, and a great chance to practice real-world English. Choosing ingredients. Good cooking starts with good ingredients. When you're shopping, you need to be able to talk about freshness, quality, quantity, and preference. Useful sentences. I always check the expiration date before I buy anything. These tomatoes are overripe. I'm looking for whole grain bread, not white bread. Let's get a smaller piece of meat, we won't need much. You can also talk about specific preferences. I prefer organic vegetables. We only use olive oil in our cooking. My family avoids processed food as much as possible. And don't forget to compare products. This brand is cheaper, but the other one tastes better. This one is sugar-free and has fewer calories. Preparing to cook. Once you've done the shopping, it's time to unpack and organize. This step is crucial before the actual cooking begins. Let's put the frozen items in the freezer first. I like to organize the pantry before I cook. All the ingredients are ready, we can start cooking. You can also express tasks you do before cooking. Washing vegetables. Cutting or chopping ingredients. Measuring quantities. Preheating the oven. Marinating meat. Useful verbs in this stage. Peel the potatoes and cut them into cubes. Chop the onions finely. Soak the beans overnight. Season the chicken with salt, pepper, and lemon juice. Grate some cheese on top before baking. These actions are simple but essential, and they help you build up vocabulary related to real-world cooking situations. Internal dialogue and practice. Even if you're alone in the kitchen, talking to yourself in English while you do these activities is incredibly powerful. You could say, "I'm going to cook pasta tonight. I'll need water, salt, a saucepan, and olive oil. First, I'll boil the water. Then, I'll add the pasta and stir it occasionally. While that's cooking, I'll prepare the sauce with garlic, tomatoes, and herbs." This type of internal monologue helps you build fluency, even if no one else is around. Realistic conversations. Finally, when cooking with someone else or talking about groceries, here are some common exchanges. Could you chop the onions while I prepare the rice? Did you remember to buy milk? Let's try that new recipe we saw online. Don't forget to wash the vegetables first. We're out of garlic, can you run to the store quickly? Chapter 4, Cooking Techniques, Flavors, and Kitchen Routines. Cooking is much more than just following a recipe. It's a combination of techniques, creativity, timing, and intuition. In this chapter, you'll learn how to describe cooking processes, talk about flavors and textures, and use useful verbs and phrases in your kitchen routine. Common cooking techniques. Let's begin with basic methods of cooking and how to describe them. These are actions you might do every day, or hear in recipes. Boil the pasta for 8 to 10 minutes. Fry, I usually fry eggs in a non-stick pan. Bake the cake at 180 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Grill, let's grill some vegetables for dinner. Steam Steamed broccoli is healthier than fried broccoli. Roast, we're roasting a chicken with herbs and garlic. Simmer, let the soup simmer on low heat. Stir fry, I love stir-fried noodles with vegetables. Other useful verbs. Flip, flip the pancake when bubbles appear. Whisk, whisk the eggs until smooth. Spread, spread butter on the toast. Pour, pour the sauce over the pasta. Sprinkle, sprinkle salt and pepper before serving. These verbs are great for giving or following instructions in the kitchen. Try to use them aloud when you cook to practice speaking. Describing taste and texture. Once the food is cooked, how do you talk about how it tastes or feels in your mouth? These are everyday English words and phrases you need to know. Flavors. Sweet, this cake is too sweet for me. Salty, the fries are salty but delicious. Sour, lemon juice gives it a sour kick. Bitter, dark chocolate has a slightly bitter taste. Spicy, I love spicy food, but not too hot. Savory, this stew is warm and savory. Textures. Crunchy, the fried chicken is crunchy on the outside. Chewy, these cookies are soft and chewy. Creamy, the pasta sauce is rich and creamy. Tender, the meat is tender and easy to cut. Crispy, I prefer crispy toast with my eggs. Smooth, this soup is smooth and velvety. Try combining flavor plus texture when describing food. The spicy curry was both creamy and rich. This dessert is sweet, soft, and melts in your mouth. Her roasted vegetables were crispy, salty, and full of flavor. Daily kitchen routines. Now let's talk about everyday actions people take in the kitchen, things that happen before, during, and after cooking. Morning. I usually make coffee as soon as I wake up. Breakfast is simple, toast with jam and a boiled egg. I prepare a lunchbox for work every morning. Afternoon. Sometimes I make a fresh salad with olive oil dressing. I snack on fruit or nuts around 4 p.m. Evening. Dinner takes longer, but I enjoy the process. I like cooking while listening to music or podcasts. After dinner, we clean the kitchen together. Chores you can mention. Doing the dishes. Wiping the counters. Sweeping the floor. Putting leftovers in containers. Setting or clearing the table. Talking about routines helps learners become more fluent because they're describing things they actually do every day. Expressing personal preferences and opinions. It's also important to express your opinions about food and cooking, especially when you're sharing meals or trying new recipes. Use phrases like, I enjoy cooking, especially on weekends. I'm not a fan of spicy food. In my opinion, homemade meals are healthier. I prefer baking over frying. My family loves traditional recipes. You can also make comparisons. I think grilling is healthier than frying. Roasted vegetables are more flavorful than boiled ones. In my experience, homemade pizza is better than store-bought. Challenge yourself. Here are a few questions to help you practice your speaking or writing skills. Try answering them in full sentences. What's your favorite dish to cook at home? Which cooking method do you use most often? How would you describe the flavor and texture of your favorite meal? Do you follow recipes, or do you cook by instinct? What's one kitchen routine you do every day? Chapter 5, Mealtime Culture, Family Dining, and Table Conversations. Mealtime is not only about food, it's about connection, culture, routine, and conversation. In many cultures, meals are the time when families come together, share their day, and bond. In this chapter, you'll learn how to talk about mealtime routines, family dining experiences, cultural eating habits, and common phrases used during meals. Family mealtime, a special part of the day. In many households, meals, especially dinner, are considered a special time. Whether it's a simple breakfast or a full dinner, sharing food creates a sense of unity and comfort. Here are some useful expressions. We always eat dinner together at the table. In my family, everyone helps set the table. We try not to use our phones while eating. Sunday lunch is a big family tradition. Meals also differ in style and timing depending on culture. For example, in some European countries, dinner is eaten late in the evening. In many Asian cultures, rice is a common part of every meal. In Latin American families, large family gatherings often include multiple dishes and storytelling. In Western homes, breakfast is often quick and simple, like cereal or toast with coffee. Meal structure around the world. Let's look at how meals are structured in different parts of the world. Typical Western routine. Breakfast, usually light, toast, cereal, coffee, eggs. Lunch, sandwich, salad, or something easy to pack. Dinner, main meal of the day, often includes meat, vegetables, and sides. In other cultures, some have 2 main meals a day instead of 3. In Mediterranean countries, lunch can be the biggest meal, followed by a light dinner. In some Asian countries, soup, rice, and vegetables are common for any meal. When talking about your routine, use expressions like, I usually have. We eat around 7 p.m. Lunch is my favorite meal. I skip breakfast during the week. Useful phrases for table conversations. Mealtime is also a time for speaking, so here are some practical phrases used at the table. Before eating. Dinner is ready. Let's eat. Come to the table. Can you help me set the table? Smells amazing. While eating. Pass the salt, please. This is delicious. What's in this sauce? Can I have some more, please? Who made this? After eating. I'm full. That was really good. Thank you for cooking. Let's clean up. Can I help with the dishes? Try practicing these with a friend or in your head when you eat. The more you hear and use them, the more natural they'll feel. Food, traditions, and hospitality. In many cultures, hospitality is shown through food. Inviting someone to your home for a meal is a sign of kindness and trust. Examples. We always offer guests something to eat or drink. My grandma cooks a huge meal when visitors come. In our culture, it's polite to finish everything on your plate. Some families say a prayer before eating. These traditions can be deeply meaningful. When learning English, it's good to understand and describe your own cultural habits, as well as learn about others. Talking about favorite dishes and family recipes. Everyone has that one dish that makes them feel at home. My mom's lasagna is the best thing I've ever tasted. Every Friday, we make homemade pizza together. I always ask my dad to cook his special curry. We have a secret family recipe for chocolate cake. When speaking or writing about food, use emotional and descriptive language. The smell reminds me of my childhood. It's the kind of dish that brings everyone to the table. Even when I'm away from home, this meal makes me feel close to my family. Reflect and practice. Here are some questions to think about or practice answering aloud. Do you eat meals with your family or alone? What time do you usually eat dinner? What's a mealtime tradition in your country? Can you describe your favorite meal from home? What do you usually say at the table in your language? How would you say it in English? Answering these questions helps you personalize vocabulary and express your identity in English. Chapter 6, World Cuisine and Talking About Food Like a Native. Food is a universal language, but how we talk about it varies. In this chapter, you'll learn how to describe dishes from different cultures, talk about your taste preferences, and give your opinions on meals you've tried. You'll also learn advanced vocabulary to express flavor, texture, and cooking style, skills that will help you sound more fluent and natural in conversations about food. Talking about international dishes. Let's start with some well-known foods from around the world. These dishes are not just popular, they also reflect the history, culture, and values of the countries they come from. Here are a few examples you can use to describe or ask about. Italy. I love Italian food, especially homemade lasagna and margherita pizza. The fresh ingredients and herbs make it taste amazing. Japan. Sushi is my favorite. The combination of raw fish and rice sounds simple, but it's an art. I admire how precise everything is. Mexico. Mexican cuisine is so full of flavor, spicy, colorful, and satisfying. I like tacos with grilled meat and fresh salsa. India. Indian food is rich in spices. My favorite is butter chicken with garlic naan. It's creamy, flavorful, and comforting. Thailand. Thai food balances sweet, salty, sour, and spicy in one dish. Pad Thai and green curry are must-tries. Middle East. Hummus, falafel, and grilled lamb. These are dishes I never get tired of. They're healthy and delicious. Now practice your own sentence. One of my favorite international meals is underscore. It's special because underscore. I first tried it when and now I eat it whenever I get the chance. Describing taste, texture, and ingredients. Using basic words like good or delicious is fine, but to sound more advanced, try these. Flavor adjectives. Savory, spicy, sweet, tangy, bitter, sour, rich, smoky, earthy, zesty. Texture adjectives. Crunchy, crispy, creamy, tender, juicy, chewy, fluffy, soft, sticky, smooth. Example sentences. The soup was rich and creamy with a hint of garlic. This dessert is light, fluffy, and not too sweet. Just perfect. The grilled chicken is juicy inside and crispy on the outside. It has a tangy, smoky flavor I wasn't expecting, but I love it. These cookies are chewy and full of chocolate chunks. Expressing opinions about food. Here are some ways to talk naturally about food experiences. Liking something. I absolutely loved it. This is one of the best things I've ever eaten. I could eat this every day. It's my comfort food. I'm addicted to this flavor. Disliking something. It wasn't really my thing. I found it too spicy. The texture was a bit strange. I tried it, but I wouldn't have it again. It smelled good, but I didn't enjoy the taste. Comparing dishes. Compared to Italian pasta, this one is much lighter. This dessert reminds me of something my grandma used to make. It's like sushi, but with cooked fish instead of raw. This version is less sweet than the original one from France. Practice prompts. Here are some questions you can use to practice this topic with a partner or in front of a mirror. What's your favorite international dish and why? Have you ever tried a dish that surprised you? Which country's cuisine do you want to try next? Food and travel. Food is a huge part of travel. When you visit a new place, trying local dishes is one of the best ways to understand the culture. You can say, I always try local street food when I travel. The best meal I've ever had was in a small town in Italy. I like visiting food markets to learn what people eat daily. Tasting new foods makes traveling even more exciting. Use these expressions to connect food to your travel experiences and show your curiosity. Think and reflect. Take a few moments to reflect and answer in your head or out loud. What's the most unique dish you've ever tried? Can you describe the taste, texture, and ingredients in detail. Chapter 7: Mastering Recipe Language and Cooking Conversations. Cooking isn't just about following a recipe, it's about understanding how to explain and describe each step clearly and naturally. Whether you're telling someone how to make your favorite dish, writing down a recipe, or watching a cooking show in English, you need the right words and phrases to follow along or give instructions. Describing cooking instructions clearly. When giving instructions in English, we usually use imperative verbs. These are direct commands without you. Chop the onions finely. Boil the pasta until soft. Heat the pan over medium heat. Add the spices and stir for 2 minutes. Bake the cake for 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. You can also use sequencing phrases to explain what happens first, next, and last. First, preheat the oven. Then, mix the flour and sugar. After that, add the eggs one by one. Next, stir until smooth. Finally, pour the mixture into the baking dish. Practice tip: try explaining a simple recipe out loud using this structure. For example, first, I boil some rice. Then I fry some vegetables with garlic. After that, I add soy sauce and mix everything. Finally, I serve it hot with sesame seeds. Useful vocabulary for cooking methods. To explain or follow recipes confidently, it's important to know different cooking techniques. Cooking method example sentence. Boil the potatoes until soft. Let the soup simmer for 15 minutes. Fry the onions until golden brown. Grill the chicken for 5 minutes on each side. Roast the vegetables with olive oil. Bake the pie in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. Steam the broccoli for 3 minutes. Stir fry the beef with bell peppers. Mash the boiled potatoes with butter. Whisk the eggs until fluffy. Try this, think of your favorite food and explain how it's cooked using at least 3 of these methods. Talking about cooking as a hobby. Cooking is more than a daily task, it's a hobby, a tradition, and sometimes even a passion. Here are some ways to express your feelings about it. I really enjoy cooking. It helps me relax after a long day. I often try new recipes I find online. Cooking is my love language. I show people I care by making food for them. I learned how to cook from my grandmother. Her recipes are still my favorite. Sometimes I cook with friends. It's a fun way to spend time together. Talking about taste while cooking. While cooking, we often taste and adjust the food. Here are phrases and vocabulary to use. It needs a little more salt. I think it's too bland. Let's add some spices. The texture is perfect, not too dry, not too soft. The sauce is rich and creamy. I love it. It smells amazing, like something from a fancy restaurant. Use comparisons and metaphors for more advanced speech. The flavor reminds me of homemade comfort food. It tastes like something you'd have at a family gathering. This dish is like a warm hug in a bowl. Sample conversations. Conversation 1, talking about a recipe. A. What are you cooking today? B. I'm making lentil soup. First, I sauté some onions and garlic. Then I add carrots, tomatoes, and lentils. I let it simmer for about 40 minutes. A. That sounds amazing. Do you add any spices? B. Yes, I use cumin, paprika, and a bit of turmeric. Conversation 2, describing cooking skills. A. Are you good at cooking? B. I think so. I've been cooking since I was a teenager. I usually follow recipes, but sometimes I improvise, especially with pasta dishes. A. That's cool. What's your signature dish? B. Probably chicken curry. Everyone in my family loves it. Practice prompts. Use these prompts to build your fluency. Describe how to make your favorite dish from start to finish. Talk about the tools you use most often in your kitchen. Share a story about cooking with someone in your family. Give instructions for a simple dessert. Explain how your cooking has improved over time. Final reflection. Let's pause and reflect on everything you've learned throughout this series. You can now talk about your kitchen and describe common tools. You know how to explain cooking steps and follow recipes in English. You've gained the ability to express taste and texture in detail. You can describe international dishes, share opinions about food, and connect cooking to your lifestyle. Cooking is a powerful way to connect cultures, express love, and create memories, and now you have the language to share those experiences with confidence. Congratulations! You've completed the final chapter of this learning journey about food and cooking. Remember, every time you cook or talk about food in English, you're not just feeding your body, you're also feeding your brain. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and never stop learning. Here's to your success, both in the kitchen and in your language goals. Bon appetit! Good luck! And see you in the next learning adventure with DDC Learning English. Bye.